War is a game that is played with a smile. If you can't smile, grin. If you can't grin, keep out of the way till you can. He has all of the virtues I dislike and none of the vices I admire. Policy is boring. In opposition, you can indulge yourself in wholesome abuse and ridicule. Most of the press nowadays is owned by wealthy men who believe in the capitalistic system. They do not want to challenge it. Just writing about a place isn't nearly as good as really seeing it and hearing it and smelling it. Shooting is not a sport. You do not play at shooting. You do not play at killing. One ought never to turn one's back on a threatened danger and try to run away from it. If you do that, you'll double the danger. But if you meet it promptly and without flinching, you will reduce the danger by half. Success consists of going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Broadly speaking, the short words are the best, and the old words when short are the best of all. When the eagles are silent, the parrots begin to jabber. The power of man has grown in every sphere, except over himself. It is a mistake to try looking too far ahead. The chain of destiny can only be grasped one link at a time. The best argument against democracy is a 5-minute conversation with the average voter. It is more easy to be critical than to be correct. The short words are the best, and the old words when short are the best of all. Sure I am of this, that if we open a quarrel between the past and the present, we shall find that we have lost the future. Healthy citizens are the greatest asset any country can have. If you mean quarrelsome, I never quarrel. I just dispute, and I am very good at disputing. It is a waste of time to tell fine men exactly how true women are. Attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference. I have never developed indigestion from eating my words. It is wonderful what great strides can be made when there is an impulse to put forth superhuman energy. The empires of the future are the empires of the mind. If you wish to be loved, show more of your faults than your virtues. If you cannot read all your own emails each day, then you're not a successful person. People who are prepared to abandon every truth and delude themselves with every folly rather than suffer contradiction are neither friends nor lovers worth having. Some people regard private enterprise as a predatory animal which ought to be tamed, and others think it a useful beast which ought to be driven and beaten. Men occasionally stumble over the truth, but most of them pick themselves up and hurry off as if nothing ever happened. Kites rise highest against the wind, not with it. Everyone has his day, and some days last longer than others. Information is merely the belief of someone recounting something they heard. Never, never, never give up. I am fond of pigs. Dogs look up to us. Cats look down on us. Pigs treat us as equals. We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. It's not enough that we do our best. Sometimes we must win, especially when our adversaries don't do their best. Of course, I am against censorship, but not for the sake of the prurient squealing pig, Comstock, either. All the greatest things are simple, and many can be expressed in a single word: freedom, justice, honor, duty, mercy, hope. Many people deplore rising prices, yet they plume themselves on the falling pound. If you pass my colleague a piece of paper, you may understand this better. Put 2/3 of your efforts into preparing and 1/3 into executing. No crime is so great as daring to excuse it. Socialism is a philosophy of failure, the creed of ignorance, and the gospel of envy. Never hold discussions with the monkey when the organ grinder is in the room. Short words are best, and the old words, when short, are the best of all. Tact is the ability to describe others as they see themselves. The greatest lesson in life is to know that even fools are right sometimes. If you do not moralize your wars, someone else will. The first duty of the university is to teach wisdom, not a trade, character, not technicalities. Nothing in life is so exhilarating as to be shot at without result. An appeaser is one who feeds a crocodile, hoping it will eat him last. Too often, the strong, silent man is silent simply because he does not know what to say, and is reput thoughtful because he does not say silly things. It was the nation and the race dwelling all round the globe that had the lion's heart. I had the luck to be called upon to give the roar. Courage is what it takes to stand up and speak. Courage is also what it takes to sit down and listen. History will be kind to me, for I intend to write it. Those who can win a war well can rarely make a good peace, and those who could make a good peace would never have won the war. There is no such thing as a good tax. It is not enough that we do our best. Sometimes we must do what is required. Difficulties mastered are opportunities won. A fanatic is one who can't change his mind and won't change the subject. Politics is the ability to foretell what is going to happen tomorrow, next week, next month, and next year, and to have the ability afterwards to explain why it didn't happen. Continuous effort, not strength or intelligence, is the key to unlocking our potential. We shape our dwellings, and afterwards our dwellings shape us. I have always felt that a politician is to be judged by the animosities he excites among his opponents. Play the game for more than a day. Perhaps a railway share will look blue. The pessimist sees difficulty in every opportunity. The optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulty. I cannot pretend to feel impartial about colors. I rejoice with the brilliant ones and am sorrowful with the dull ones. You have enemies? Good. That means you've stood up for something, sometime in your life. However beautiful the strategy, you should occasionally look at the results. In war as in life, it is often necessary when some cherished scheme has failed to take up the best alternative open and act upon it decidedly. If you're going through hell, keep going. Victory at all costs, victory in spite of all terror, victory however long and hard the road may be. For without victory, there is no survival. The truth is incontrovertible. Malice may attack it, ignorance may deride it, but in the end, there it is. You will never reach your destination if you stop and throw stones at every dog that barks. Politics is more dangerous than war, for in war, you are only killed once. Indeed, it has been said that though God cannot alter the past, historians can. And certain it is that definite revisions of the past are habitual and convenient for state purposes. Speaking as a Canadian, I congratulate Great Britain on her splendid performance. Personally, I'm always ready to learn, although I do not always like being taught. I never worry about action, but only inaction. We shape our buildings and afterwards they shape us. To improve is to change. To be perfect is to change often. Observe generally, but come to conclusions slowly. Great and good are seldom the same man. Criticism may not be agreeable, but it is necessary. It fulfills the same function as pain in the human body. It calls attention to an unhealthy state of things. Let our advanced worrying become advanced thinking and planning. A lie gets halfway around the world before the truth has a chance to get its pants on. My rule of life prescribed as follows: never bear more children than you can bring up, and always teach them enough to be able to support themselves. We are masters of the unsaid words, but slaves of those we let slip out. It is no use saying, "We are doing our best." You have got to succeed in doing what is necessary. I like a man who grins when he fights. The farther backward you can look, the farther forward you can see. The price of greatness is responsibility. Properly trained, a team of ordinary men can be made into a formidable fighting unit. There is nothing wrong with change if it is in the right direction.